All right, test, test, test. Trying to get set up here. Helps if I bring the microphone down, right? There's some new software, something that I believe this is done by OBS. So I'm trying to test this out, see if I have anybody in here. Let me do this. Put that down there. So it looks like the signal's good. If anybody can hear me or is in here, let me know. I don't know if this chat is working. There we go. Okay, looks like I see Brian Anderson is in here. Okay, so that is working. So what does this do? I don't even, maybe I should have let me upload this to Twitter as well. Matthew Fab's in the house. Brian Anderson. Let's see who else is in here. Okay, you can hear me good. Okay. Yeah, this thing is not updating, so I don't know what's going on here, but select stream. There we go. Is that it? No. I don't know. OBS got some work to do. I'm going to just leave that on the side there. I can see the live chat here. Let me extend that. All right, 5x5. Sounds good. Hello from Olympia. Heavy rain. Yeah, there's a lot of rainfall coming. You guys see the Doppler I've got overlaid here. This is Langley. You can see that narrow cold frontal rain band that's been moving across the coast. Probably some pretty torrential rain in there and some gusty winds as well. And if we go to, you can see that wind shift here too. If you put it into motion here, that blue is moving towards the Doppler. The red is moving away, and you can kind of see these little tiny spin-ups, almost QLCS spin-ups along this cold front here. And this is moving across Kitsap as we speak right now. So Olympia, you're going to get even some heavier rainfall. Kitsap Peninsula and eventually Seattle Metro is going to get a big blast of rain. Probably some gusty winds in there as well. It's going to move all the way across. And we've already got about an inch of rainfall here already today. Let's see. You can bring it up here. And you see I'm at 0.98 right now. And if I go back there, check out the barometer today as well. Look at this yesterday morning at 30.10. And look at how much it's just fallen today. We're now at, what, 29.40. And you can see the gusty winds have been ongoing today at 38 miles per hour, the high at my house. You can also see that wind shift to the north and the convergence zone came through when I saw those gustnados right there, that really quick wind shift here. Then it died back down. Sacramento in here. Cool. Eatonville, Glide, Oregon. Yeah, I don't know if they're still burning in Texas or not. I know it was pretty bad yesterday. Yeah, I was trying to do this whole new thing, but I'll work on that later. I'll have to worry about that at another point. Port Orchard, White Center. Yeah, glad you guys enjoy those daily videos. This is the infrared satellite imagery also, so you can see that frontal system we're dealing with right now. Ushering in a very cold air mass. We're going to have these showers ongoing for the next few days, some lower snow levels. Maybe we'll get a thunderstorm out of it, some small hail or some snow pellets out of that, all this cold air here. So I've got a few things set up here I was going to look at. I was going to look at observations here too as well. Let's do this. It's been windy out there. It's not been too incredibly windy, though. What's this? 75 miles per hour. Is that some kind of three-corner rock? I wonder if that's legitimate. Maybe it is. Higher terrain getting pretty good wind gusts today. Pressure down at 29.45 in Federal Way, breaking the rain currently. No freezing rain this round into Portland. You need cold air on the other side of the mountain range here, and we don't have it so much this frontal system. We're not going to have any strong east winds or anything, so you don't have to worry about freezing rain for the Portland Metro this round. Whistler here, lots of powder. Awesome, good to hear it. Wind picking up in Boise. What did you guys get today in Vancouver? Looks like some gusts up towards almost 40 miles an hour. What's this out over the strait here? You got Sisters Island 43. It's not bad. Looks like Bellingham 48. Probably what they're going to be topping out as. We might get some gustier winds here across Seattle. SeaTac at 39. We got 43 at Boeing Field. So it'll be interesting to see what this cold front brings through here. And if we look, again, you can kind of see it moving right towards Bremerton as we speak. So it's not that far off from the Seattle Metro right now. Let's put this up. Let's go to high res reflectivity, and you can see that thing moving across. Why were you mad at Vlad so much? No, it's just, I don't know. You can't hold somebody's hand for too long. I'm not mad at him. It's just, he direct messages me a lot, and I was trying to help him out, and then he openly admits that the stuff he puts online is BS, and then but he's going to do it anyway. So I don't have any respect for that. I'm not going to put stuff out there to try to trick people or to try to make some kind of fantasy forecast come true just because I post something. I'm not going to post something that's false information that I know is false information and have you guys read it. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of your guys' time. And that's basically what he admitted to me that he was doing. So I don't have time for that. I'm not here to play games. I'm here to enjoy the weather and to teach people about the weather and to be part of a community and try to spread the joy about weather and keep people aware on what's coming. I'm not here to play games and to post, weather maps that are not useful or they are misleading. I'm not here to do that. Mount Baker piling up the snow. .52 at Cape D with a narrow cold frontal rain band moving through. Yeah, let me put this into motion here too. So let's see if we can. The problem with some of these Doppler radars, like the Portland one, it's kind of in a tough spot here because you run these beams back into the terrain off in the West Hills there. So you can't really see the cold front too much. You can see down the Willamette Valley and some of the coastal range all right and back up into the, along the I-5 corridor. But if you put that into motion, you'll notice these beams as they come off here, they're running into terrain and all kinds of stuff. So you don't really get a good look at the coastal areas there. So we could really use like a coastal radar here, maybe off of Newport would be perfect. Because right now, if you're chasing stuff, you can kind of see with the Langley Doppler a little bit down towards the Oregon coastline, and you can kind of see it trailing down here. And it's a better view than the Portland Doppler, so you got to give it that for some of the Oregon coast. But man, we could really use a Doppler right here on the Newport border, the border. I mean, there's a lot of people live there, Salem and Corvallis and Eugene, and somebody make that happen. And you start writing our political representatives about that. And of course, we got the Camino Island Doppler here, and we've got the good old brand new radar there on the coastline. Glad for that. You got the Spokane, Pendleton. Yeah, I use the Langley one quite a bit here because you can really see what's coming. Back in the day, you only had the Camino Island Doppler and every beam would be blocked by the Olympic Mountains and you could never see what was coming out here. And ever since we got the Doppler radar, you get a really nice look into these narrow cold frontal rain bands. You can see all little QLCS stuff and you can see the graduated cold fronts running through the area and nice wind shifts and everything. So yeah, this has definitely been a great addition. I hope we can do it on the Oregon border at some point. It's been raining pretty good all a day long. I was at my son's soccer practice and we were just getting drenched out there. Yeah, the Portland one's tough. It gets really hampered by, you want to see out over the coast mostly, and you can't because of the coastal ranges right there. It almost would have been better had they put it up higher across the coastal range, but then it's off, you have to deal with the forest and all that stuff, so they might not have been able to find a good sitting for that, and then it's harder to maintain there, and it's probably subject to, storm damage a little bit more and whatnot. Camino Island, Whidbey Island. Yeah, I heard that Whidbey Island had a bunch of power outages up there today as well. Looks like the whole island almost was out of power. I see somebody, actually, let's do this. I see somebody mentioning the cold air. So what we're doing is we're bringing in a bunch of cold air aloft, but the problem is that we're not bringing the correct trajectory. We need this low to be down here, like off the Oregon coast, like drawing some cold air back down towards Portland or Western Washington or BC. And you notice that surface low, we just don't get that tight pressure gradient. You can see the Arctic air trying to sag down into British Columbia, but we don't really bring that out into Southwest BC much or down into Washington. This would actually be kind of a windy solution here too for some of the Oregon coast, maybe even through Western Washington as that low moved inland, but nothing too crazy there. I mean, it's not a bad gradient, but yeah, I was hoping this would set up a little bit better for lower elevation snowfall, but it's not looking like we're getting any kind of widespread snowfall event out of that system here that's going to be rolling in on the day, Saturday night and Sunday. Yeah, that rain shadow's been really kicking up there across areas northeast of the Olympic Mountains. Kyle Gorman is here. Welcome. Yes, put that radar request in. Let's get that done. Let's all pitch in like $100 and go down there and throw a bunch of money on the table and tell them to build a Doppler radar there. Brian Rock Rail fan. So yeah, that's what I was looking at earlier here too. So the HRRR. So you can see the HRRR's actually caught that narrow cold front rain band. This is about what? 7 o'clock right here. So we're at 8:30, but it was picking it up pretty good. There's 8, there's 9. You can see it's kind of slow moving too. So it might hang out for a little bit across some of the area. Kevin Moore, thank you for the generosity. Yeah, you can see this heavy rain's going to be going on through. This is about midnight here, then starting to get some breaks across Western Washington, down into Oregon. Then it's your turn. Look at this frontal system, man, down the Oregon coast. That is going to be a pretty good shot. And some pretty heavy rain showing up here across Oregon. What is going on here all the way through tomorrow morning? Almost kind of hangs out there for a bit. Then you can see it emerge off to the east. But the HRRR looks pretty vigorous for tomorrow as well. This is like early afternoon. Look at some of these showers out there. Can't rule out a lightning strike with some of that activity. Here we're going through tomorrow afternoon. It's tomorrow evening. These showers just continue to roll across the area. And all the way through Friday afternoon, that very cold air loss is going to continue to pump this convection back into the region. So yeah, it's going to be pretty active. And this is really going to be nice for building snow across the higher terrain. I mean, that very cold air aloft is just perfect for building mountain snow. No snow in Boise right now. Surrey, BC, welcome. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, if you got a metal roof and you get some hail, that's definitely a noisemaker. I was looking at this too, the updraft helicity. So these are the kind of setups where you got to watch. You can get those funnel clouds and you can get the brief weak tornadoes along the coastline. You can kind of see a little bit of that activity showing up through tomorrow. Along some of the Oregon coast here, some of these helicity tracks have been showing up. And look at that, about 7 o'clock tomorrow. Look at that little helicity track running in there right in the central Oregon coast. And then you can kind of see them still out over the water there as you go through early Friday morning. And sometimes we get these tornadoes early in the morning as well. I mean, look at that helicity updraft. What is that? Seaside here, just south of Astoria there on the Oregon coast. Dan's Backcountry, thank you for the generosity. Garrett is in the house. Yeah, I see the photographs don't look great, but kind of tomorrow they kind of have a little bit of a shape to them, but I don't know. Take a look at the velocity scan just a couple miles east of the ETX radar, possible rotation. Oh, is that in this here? You notice how once that cold front got around the Olympics, you could really see it move across. Oh, let me see here. So you can see the wind shift here, and you can see it just cross Camino Island, the Doppler radar right there. Voop. Classic cold front signature there. Almost like a bit of a surge there behind it. See if we can see anything here. You can see the wind shift coming right now. It's coming for Bremerton next. So my Kitsap Peninsula. I can't wait till this gets here tonight. I hope it gets here before I'm asleep, though. I guess I might get woken up by it, but I'd like to see that come through like around midnight or something. Yeah, you're going to be getting snow, I'm sure, across Stevens Pass off and on tomorrow for sure. The temperatures, yeah, I mean, aloft the temperatures are going to get really cold. I mean, you don't feel it as much. You're definitely going to notice a temperature difference tomorrow. It'll definitely be cooler, but it's not like we're going to be dropping below freezing or anything of that nature. So if we take, let's look at this. Let's do this. So you can see the front here. This is apparent temperature, takes wind chill into account. And we go, Dan's backcountry. Thank you for the generosity yet again. Chris Bird, hoping to keep the channel lights on. Would love to do a storm chase if you're open to it. Haven't chased in years. Yeah, you'll have to email me and whatnot. Where do you live, Chris Bird? Yeah, I mean, it's propagating at a fair clip off to the south, but as you can see, it's not really making that much east headway. It is moving, but it's still not moving that fast. I mean, it actually pushed past the Camino Island Doppler there pretty quickly here, though. And you see there's definitely some gusty winds with this frontal system moves through. So if you do fall asleep in the next couple hours and you're across some western Washington here or down southwest Washington, this might wake you up with the rain lashing at your windows. Oh yeah, so yeah, I was gonna look at that. What is going on down there across the Willamette Valley? Is that, I forget what the timing exactly was on that. So it looks like it still might be picking up across some of the Willamette Valley, or actually right now. It might be pretty breezy out there right now. I don't know. I need some reports from you guys. And you can almost see that cold frontal passage here between 7 and 8. Look at the wind. Is the wind pretty? We need Jonathan to get in here and let us know what the wind did. Because you can see look at these gusty winds coming through tonight with the frontal passage. Look at this, Tacoma and Olympia 51. Maybe there'll be a 50 mile per hour gust in here as well. Shannon O'Phelan, I hope that I pronounced that right. Welcome to Basic Channel Support. Dan's backcountry, generally interested in how the storm system will affect our rivers. I'm thinking of filming on Saturday. Do you think the storm system? There was some here. Actually, nope. Let's do that again. So you can see we do have some flood watches out there. And I know they mentioned there is going to be a rise on the rivers there. I mean, it's not like some of the atmospheric rivers we can get, though. You're not looking at severe flooding or anything like that. Oops, sorry about that. If I can copy and paste this. I think I lost my bookmark on that. So let me see if hopefully this brings it up here. Flood safety after flood. No, this is not it. Forecast. Okay, we won't do that. But I know there's a flood warning down on, I think it was actually, let's look here. Yeah, there we go, Roseburg. And this looks like about actually tonight. That's actually probably peaking as we speak here right now into minor flood stage. But this is not a major flood event here. Okay, what was I doing here? What was I doing? Oh, the winds. Yeah, so if you guys are getting gusty winds at your house, please tell me, because this is kind of an upgrade here. You can see from what we were looking at this morning, these are definitely stronger winds. I mean, look at some of these into the lower 50s here. It almost kind of skips Seattle. I don't know. It shows a 45 mile per hour gust, but that should be coming on any time now. That's actually as we speak. And I don't know if we're actually gusting that. What's the actual wind speed right now? My highest gust so far is 38 miles per hour. So we'll see if that actually, if we can break that coming up here. Okay, let's see. North Kit's out 40 miles per hour. Drew Duncan asking about the gustnados. That's the first time I've ever seen gustnados on the Puget Sound. Yes, and that was amazing. I did not realize that they would form like that. It's typical of what I've seen out in the plains storm chasing. You'll see some of those gustnados, and sometimes they're mistaken for kind of the weaker tornadoes there. But these were definitely gustnados, and I was very surprised to see them. It was the first time I'd ever done so. Yeah, if you're at 100 meters East Vancouver Island, that's, you might be getting some snowfall up there. Definitely with some of these colder showers, that cold air mass moving in here. And some of the models, again, we're kind of hinting at some of that. Here, let's do this. See what the most recent did, because this is like a really fine line. But if you do end up getting some of that cold air down into Southwest BC, it doesn't take much. So let's see. We got all south winds as we go through the day tomorrow. Do we turn them back around across Southwest BC? A little bit we do there. So you can kind of see how these are flowing out, and then you're still bringing these southeasterly winds. You could get some cold air leaking out here and some convergence back up in here. In fact, let's look at... Yeah, the dew points are going to be kind of low there, and that could kind of correlate as we go on into Saturday morning. And if we bounce back to the wind there, and it doesn't make much headway out, you can kind of see it coming down the Fraser River Gap. Then you see the southeast winds here. So it's trying to spill out a little bit, and that could be enough, to run back into some Vancouver Island there, or even get into Southwest BC, maybe even down towards Whatcom County a little bit, depending on how far that weak outflow can get. And then it goes back southerly by Saturday afternoon. Then it tries to go back offshore a little bit again here, as you can see the low approach as we go through Sunday morning. Check it out. You can see it right here. And then some more northeast wind trying to sneak back down in there. And that could kind of target Vancouver Island again as well. So that is kind of interesting. But you notice it's not getting down into Western Washington or down to Portland there. It's just not doing so. Yes, the snow level will be lower for sure. It's going to come crashing down. Dan's backcountry, I see it here. You're going to be dropping the snow levels big time here coming up. I mean, they're going to be close to the surface here at times. In the heavier showers, you can see flakes down to sea level here. So the snow levels are going to be down into the lower elevations for sure. So, I mean, if you're going up to Snoqualmie Pass, you're going to be getting snow this weekend when it does come, definitely. Mike Scott Walsh, welcome to second tier channel support. Thank you very much. Lake Stevens is gusting. Yeah, that front's going all the way down to California. You guys probably hearing about that in the media too. I've been talking about it on the other channel also. Just some really intense snowfall incoming. Yeah, with an upper level low right here like that, this is going to be a tricky forecast as you go through Sunday morning to get in here as well. Because look at that upper level low right here, almost over the Strait of Juan de Fuca, and still trying to pull some of that colder air down. That is a tough call. Some of those chillier temperatures kind of give you a little bit of pause. But yeah, the snow levels are definitely going to be lower as this front moves through. 65 miles an hour on the Astoria Bridge right now, really? Oh, it is. That's an amazing gust. Wow, that's a severe gust. So I'm assuming that's got to be with the narrow cold front. It is, absolutely. Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, you can see the wind shift right there. So yeah, 65 miles per hour at Astoria. And you can see why. See the wind shift in the cold front band right there? It's now right over top. So when this gets over your house, if you're in Olympia right now, you got big winds, Centralia, long view eventually, and this will be bringing some gusty winds down into the Willamette Valley, and this eventually will hit some at Tacoma and Seattle here also. And I wonder what Camino Island got with that, or Whidbey Island. Somebody tell Jonathan to call in. Yeah, Whidbey had 48 earlier, but hasn't been more since. Phil Hyde, looks like the NAM calmed down for Ben Redmond. I think it was 50 plus in your morning video. Windy in Port Orchard. Near 50 in Tillamook. Yeah, I want to find that. As Shannon mentions about the guy in the boat. I wish I could find that guy in the boat. Yeah, if I was chasing, I mean, if you want to film snow, this is going to be a good weekend to do it. Dan's Backcountry, thanks for the generosity. Skagit River Valley, I don't know that you'll see lower elevation snowfall down in there, but you might see some flakes flying, but we're not expecting anything widespread. Really south of like maybe Skagit or Whatcom County, and there's some convergence zone activity is possible. Some of Vancouver Island and maybe at the San Juans and Southwest BC. But it doesn't look like a nice snowfall accumulation going on. 35-mile-per-hour gust on the interstate bridge in Portland. March coming in like a lion, and will it go out like a lamb, or will it stay active this month? But yeah, if you guys are just joining, 65 miles per hour in Astoria, and this is a big wind shift coming here with this frontal system. And you can see it is going to move across some places like Olympia and Rochester, Centralia, Tacoma. Looks like you might be gusting 50 miles per hour in the latest North American model. And it's kind of draped right across Kitsap here. So Seattle's going to get gusty as well. Federal Way, Tacoma, Puyallup. Yeah, that would have been a time to be going across that bridge. 65 miles per hour, that will wake you up. The NAM nailed that for Astoria. It should be picking up in the Willamette Valley. According to the North American model, Olympia just hit 38. That's a pretty good gust. So when you see the heavier precipitation, you're showing up here as red and orange. That's where the heavier rainfall is occurring. And that's that narrow cold frontal rain band. Dan's Backcountry, thank you for the generosity tonight, sir. This is a thank you for being my primary weatherman. Your information allows me to plan my trips, and doing what I do, it really matters. Thanks for answering my questions. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Very generous of you. Very nice. Yeah, I want to go chase something tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to go do snow or go out to the coast or what, or just try to find a cool thunderstorm somewhere around the Sound or Southwest Washington, or go up north. I don't know yet. But this is another one for you here, Dan. The National Weather Service is a flood warning for the Skokomish at Potlatch, affecting Mason County. Moderate flooding is forecast until early Friday morning, so that might be something to chase. Inundate some residential areas, many roads, and much of the farmland in the Skokomish Valley. Even mentions the roads. Purdy Cutoff Road, Highway 106. Yeah, it's supposed to go 17.6 late tonight, and it's fall below tomorrow afternoon. So it compares to a previous crest on, and that's funny enough right there. October 20th, 2003 is when Seattle got their greatest single day rainfall total, over 5 inches in 24 hours. So that might be something fun to watch. Yeah, it would be good drone footage for sure. Yeah, Shannon mentions if you've ever driven over the Astoria Bridge, if you are afraid of bridge, what's a bridge phobia called? There's got to be a word for that. That is not the bridge to go on. That's like miles long, isn't it? Kamishwari Kate, we just returned home to Vancouver, BC. I got to see those crazy squalls on Monday on the way down to Bellingham. Fun. What are the current temperatures? Oh, yeah. We were looking at that. We were looking at temperatures here. We kept getting sidetracked a little bit. So this is the apparent temperature. So this is the cold front going on. It's like right now, or about 9 o'clock. So that's about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And you can see this includes the wind chill temperature, what it's going to feel like. So you can see it's going to feel cold by the time tomorrow morning rolls around. Look at these temperatures. It's going to feel like the low 30s across western Washington, western Oregon. You can clearly see it. You're going to be able to tell that it's colder, but we're not looking at widespread below freezing temperatures themselves, as you can see. But with the wind, it's going to feel pretty chilly, and you're going to notice it for sure. Yeah, I can't imagine if we had got the Columbus Day storm nowadays. It'd be pretty hard to fathom what it would be like here. There's so many more people, and the social media would just be a madhouse. By Monday, it's hard to say. Let's see. We're going to check things out all the way. I mean, you probably will be all right. It's kind of just like, I don't know, though. These little systems continue to move in all the way through next week. And then it looks like maybe we get a break as we go into Tuesday. But Monday still might be active. So I would definitely check back here again tomorrow. We'll go over that in a little bit more detail, too. Because if we bounce out here, I mean, it was a pretty tricky forecast. The 18Z Euro. There's the frontal system we're dealing with like right now into tomorrow morning. Gephrophobia. Gephrophobia? Fear of bridges. There is a word for it. That's awesome. Thanks for that. So there's the frontal system there. And you can see that we're going to be dealing with this cold air aloft, and it's going to be streaming these showers in here as we go through all the way through Friday, all the way through Saturday again, more convection. Sunday again. So we might get 4 days in a row, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with these showers moving across the area. And then on Monday, there's some other kind of system showing up at times here, but we'll see how that goes. Definitely check back tomorrow. And then that might be another system for California there. And maybe we'll get a break here finally as we go towards midweek coming up. Gephrophobia? That's crazy. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good profession, mental health professional. Olympia is windy as hell. Let's look here. And that's why it is about to get you. And just a reminder, you guys, when this cold front passed over Astoria, it hit 65. So these strong winds are bearing down as we speak. Probably really windy across some of the Kitsap Peninsula here. Probably Shelton got a good shot of wind also. And look at that precip fill in behind it. Metrophobia? I don't even know how to pronounce that. Well, it looks like we might get a break midweek next week, but don't hold me to that yet. Pouring in Oak Harbor. It's possible to get a 50-mile-per-hour gust when this front passes for Olympia, Tacoma, Federal Way, and maybe even Seattle. The NAM just might be missing it, but it showed like 45 miles per hour for Seattle. And we know we got 65 at Astoria. And for the Willamette Valley, let's go over that one more time here because I want to look at that again. So this is right about now. It shows that the winds still are increasing across some of the Willamette Valley. So let me know if you guys are getting gusty wind down there. It shows it going through until about 10, 11, 12. It shows it kind of windy here as we go on into early tomorrow morning for the Willamette Valley. Man, look at some of these wind gusts here. So let's do this as well. Let's check out the high resolution model, and we'll go to... Oh, I missed it there. Wind gust swath. Yeah, the herd did pretty good with that. Look at that. You can see Astoria is right there. And you'll notice if I click from 8 to 9, it went to 61 for Astoria. So it kind of nailed that pretty well. And it does show a 42 mile per hour gust here, about 11 for Seattle and Tacoma. So yeah, it's still going to be windy out there. Heads up for that. Maybe another 40-mile-per-hour gust there for Olympia. Yeah, when it's super windy, that means you got a good temperature gradient. There's a big difference between the cold air and the warm air there. And right now we got cold air trying to make its way in. So that is definitely what's going on there. I noticed Debbie Nelson asked that question. Something tells me that Astoria Bridge was probably built to survive 110-mile-per-hour winds. I'm sure they super engineered that thing. You don't want Galloping Gertie there trying to cross the Columbia River when it's in the middle of winter. Can anybody see how many people are in the chat right now? It's not letting me see that. "19 miles per hour North Seattle right now. Probably going to be picking up here shortly." A lot of chats coming in here. 523, 529, 551. Astoria Bridge was built to withstand 150-mile-per-hour gusts. That's pretty good. I mean, I think that if it does snow around the Puget Sound, it's going to be brief accumulation. And we're not expecting convergent zone convective activity. It'd be more like the south wind at the surface with convective activity. So you might bring some lower snow levels and see some flakes flying. But after the shower moves on, it should not be remaining. It should be melting, go above freezing. This is just a strong frontal system here. I mean, it's got a pretty good narrow cold front rain band with it. And there's actually another, got a flood warning right here. What is this one exactly? Is this the Grays River at Covered Bridge near Roseburg? Okay. And there's another one here. Is this one just left to expire? Is it the same thing? Yeah. So there are some flood warnings out there right now, a couple of them. Anything else out there? There's one up across from Vancouver Island, rainfall warning. Poor visibility and heavy rain, water pooling. Interesting. Canada's always got a little bit different warnings than the USA. Dan's backcountry, can we see snow accumulation for Saturday? Okay, so let's play out. Let's just look at the North American model with that, and let's take a look. And we'll kind of look at, actually, let's look at 24-hour total. So you can kind of see as we go through the overnight into early morning hours, the snow really piling up there. And look at this. It actually does show some kind of a convergent zone up here tomorrow morning. That's north of Marysville right there. I'm going to have to look into that. Why is the NAM doing that? And then as we go through tomorrow morning, it's showing some snow down into the port. What is going on here? Okay, so that's a lot of cold air aloft. Might actually be trying to tease out some snow into some of the lower elevations there. Look at that. I didn't even realize the NAM was doing that. Okay, I'll look into that a little bit more here. Let's put this in motion for what we're doing Saturday. So let's do 24-hour snow total. And as we scroll through here, let's go on into Saturday morning. This goes about as far as the NAM goes right now. So depends on where you are. But we're going to have these convective showers going over, but we're not expecting like widespread below freezing temperatures. So let's back up here again. Let's go to, I mean, what is going on here across the Portland Metro? I think so this is all the way, let's look at the temperature here. Because we're doing 6-hour min temperature here. And if we go off into tomorrow afternoon, the temperatures are just not cold enough to really accumulate that much snowfall for some of these areas. So yeah, I'm not too worried about the snowfall accumulation right now. But look at on the NAM, you can really see that cold front right here, draped on the Oregon border, and that's that narrow cold frontal band. So look at the temperatures drop as you go to tomorrow morning, as that cold front really just blasts down across the area. Pretty interesting looking there. .47 and light rain. Yeah, I'd love it if it would just snow, but with the south wind at the surface, I mean, if you take a look here, if we just put this into motion with the south wind, you can see the wind is just southerly the entire time. It's really tough to get accumulating snowfall down towards the lower elevations. You got south wind, and you can see it just all the way on through tomorrow night. And we just kind of continue off in towards Friday, and it's still south wind. It's going to be really tough to do so. But you can still get dustings of snowfall. You're just not going to have, icy roads and stuff out there. That's something interesting right here that the NAM was showing. I actually saw this earlier, too. Look at this little mesoscale low. I mean, this has got to be some kind of, I don't know. We'll see about that. I mean, it's almost like it's got some offshore component on the north side of it here too. So we'll watch out for stuff like that. We'll look at that again tomorrow and see if it doesn't take that away almost immediately. So there's 54. Let's see if it had any semblance of that previously. It had kind of a low a bit further off the coastline there, but yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. We'll look at that again more tomorrow. Aaron Green is in the house. Gorge might have something to say about that. Yeah, the problem is that there's not much cold air behind the gorge, though. If we look at... So this is as we're going through the day today. I mean, it was into the lower 50s over there right now. So there's nothing to tap over there right now, and there's no offshore component or anything like that. That's pretty cool looking, watching that front swing down across the area, though. And if we bounce out a little bit more, it'll probably even look a little bit better. Look at that cold front. That's what we're going through tonight. And that's what brought that 65-mile-per-hour gust to Astoria. I'm looking forward to that swinging through here about 11 or 12. I might have to stay up to watch that. And look at that front just drive across the area all the way down into California. It's pretty fun to watch. Let's do this. Sharp cold front. Look at that thing. This is apparent temperature taking wind chill into account. But you can see we're not getting that Arctic air back down in here. And like I've talked about before, a good way to check out Arctic air is to look at dew point temperature, because it's characterized by its very dry air. So if we watch this and put it into motion, you can see it, it does sag into BC a bit here, but we're not really bringing it out too much. As we go on in through Friday, it's trying to get down in here, but you just don't have that gradient to really pull it offshore. That's just as simple as I can put it. Try to swing some of these low pressures, but they're weak. And it kind of tries to sag south on Sunday, and we do cool down a bit there, but that's dew point temperature here. Let me take a look at the... Yeah, it's not a big shot of Arctic air getting out by any means. Yeah, we saw the high-res velocity there around Astoria. Man, look at that wind shift there. Look at all these little segments going on here too. And for some reason, my radar scope was not updating here. But let me look at this. Oh, no, there it goes now. Why is it? Okay, that's better. You can almost see it. Almost looks like little tiny QLCS spin-ups in that, but not, I don't know. They look really tiny. But yeah, big wind shift. What a shot of wind for Astoria. It's almost to Olympia right now. You can kind of see it just now starting to move towards Port Orchard and Bremerton. And if we bounce northbound here, no, it's headed towards, it's going to get towards Edmonds and Everett, Mukilteo. Could be just passing Anacortes now. South Route 106 along Hood Canal due to falling trees. That's the one that's supposed to be flooding out there too, right? Yeah, the Sierras are going to get just absolutely creamed here. So this is the European. There goes our frontal system. So you can see with these lows spinning off our coastline here and that cold air aloft, it's going to continue to throw these rounds of precip, and you can pick up a couple inches at a time when these showers are moving over. And it might even be steady at times as well, but nice snowmaker. Oh, and yeah, the frontal system for California. I mean, check this out. These are 3-hour chunks here we're moving through. The initial frontal system brings big snow, and then we just continue to pour that cold air with a perfect trajectory right back into the Sierra Nevada. Just, I mean, that's all the way out to Sunday morning. It's still ongoing here. What a storm. I mean, the problem with like chasing something like this is if you go off into the backcountry there and you're at 6,000 or 7,000 feet, you're getting stuck. I don't care what you say. You're not getting out. They're going to close I-80. It's going to be closed for long stretches of time. And then when they try to get I-80 open and some of the bigger highways, you know, you're going to have to be next to a big highway to try to get out. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck for days. I mean, it gets wild out there. Heading out for intercept. Washington weather chasers in house. Oh, you're going to get the wind shift here? Yeah, go get it. So Washington weather chasers on Facebook. He's going to go out and get that. He's going to try to, let's see, how far is this south? You can see it making its way. That's kind of interesting here. Is that getting a little bit of, I wonder if there's a little bit of westerly surge kind of enhancing that as well. Yeah, get right on the Puget Sound there. Starting to make its way towards Bremerton as we speak. Looks like it's just crossing over Bremerton. Anybody in Bremerton here? Yeah, somebody. You're going to need some rescue teams for anybody up chasing in the Sierra Nevada. Rain, and lots of rain for Portland. But yeah, the frontal system is actually, you can see the Portland Doppler actually picking it up here too as well. So again, this is Doppler radar right there. The reds are moving away from the Doppler. The greens are moving towards the Doppler here. And just a reminder, a Doppler radar beam moves up into the atmosphere the further away it goes from the Doppler. So these beams, because the curvature of the Earth. And so when these beams move away, you're actually sampling the atmosphere at a higher level than you are closer to the Doppler radar. But you can actually see some of the beams do get above the coastal range there, and you can see that frontal passage that brought the big winds to Astoria. So this is eventually going to come for Portland also here, because we go through tonight into tomorrow morning. And the models keep showing the winds are going to be increasing across the Willamette Valley, and it doesn't look like they picked up yet. So it's a little bit frustrating there, but I would still expect that there's going to be some gusty winds for Salem down towards Eugene. Getting stranded in Airbnb and Truckee for a week sounds like, yeah, if I had to get some time off and you go do that, that would be awesome. And you can just like stay there and like document the whole storm up in the mountains. That would be very fun. I don't know if we're going to get another shot of winter this year, like an actual low elevation, big time snow event. I was hoping this one would do something, but I don't think that it's going to be any kind of widespread event, which is a shame, but. And again, here we're watching the velocity scan on the Doppler radar. So this is, kind of, it's more than an estimate. It's actually what the Doppler radar is reading as far as wind speed is concerned. What is this right here? Cannon Beach. Is that a little QLCS spin up there? It is. You guys see that? Anybody in Cannon Beach right now? Go check that thing out. You might see a little QLCS. If you got enough lights on the beach out there, if it runs over a hotel, you might actually see that thing come roaring in there. You can actually see it right there. Looks like that's some rotation right here. And that happens in these strong frontal systems. I have seen a QLCS tornado in the Pacific Northwest near North Bend, Washington, about 3 years ago now. Google QLCS. They're kind of embedded circulations within strong frontal systems like this. Yes, QLCS, that's correct. Quebec Lima, Charlie Sierra. Yeah, that's what us storm chasers do. We find these little features in here. You start your eye gets trained after many years of chasing storms in the Great Plains. You start to get a trained eye on this stuff. I was just outside of North Bend, probably right here near I was probably coming out of Tanner, I think. I was with a friend there, and I have it on video and everything, and I was freaking out. It was pretty amazing. And the other tornado I saw was in Kent East Hill. And that was like on 116th and Kent Kingley, right up here. I used to live right in here. A tornado formed right about here, touched down briefly, came right over my house, knocked some stuff down in an upstairs window. And it was a supercell thunderstorm, one of the rare supercells here in the Pacific Northwest. It dropped 1.25-inch hail, had huge wind gusts, and I remember just watching the cumulonimbus cloud just kind of roll off into the Cascades as well. Pretty amazing storm that was. Saw one near Snohomish about 30 years ago. Yeah, Port Orchard had one in 2018, EF2. Well, send your pitch. Oh, that's right. Aaron Green saw one last summer, Eastern Washington. That was definitely a tornado too. So, okay, let's see here. Let's get caught up here. Let me check this out. Cannon Beach, QLCS spin up approaching the coastline there. Heads up if you're at Cannon Beach right now. Get the word out. We've got somebody in Massachusetts in here. You can see the frontal passage coming across the Kitsap Peninsula here. Again, headed for Seattle shortly. I almost want to go down to the pier later and see it. It'll probably be here in a couple hours, so I might go do that. I do have to get off the computer in about 15 minutes. But yeah, if you're just joining, we've got 65 mile per hour gust at Astoria. We're still expecting the winds should be a little bit gustier than they are across some of the Willamette Valley, and maybe that'll be picking up here shortly. Yeah, it's a quasi-linear convective system. That is correct. Had to give you guys some homework. Predictions for the summer. Warmer. That's my prediction for the summer. Tornadoes can form in mountains. Yeah, they can. But that area that outside is actually kind of lower elevation anyway on I-90 by Tanner and North Bend is actually still kind of a lower elevation. That's right before you start getting up into the foothills there. Right on the borderline of the foothills. But I think in the Sierra Nevada was the highest tornado ever documented. It was like at 12,000 feet. You Google that one too. Sierra Nevada tornado. West Coast weather is in the house. Oh, is it windy? West Coast weather, tell us if it was windy on Whidbey Island there when that was passing through. Ben's going to go out and chase it. Washington weather chasers. We got a lot of good storm chasers here. Ben Yurkovich is one of our best storm chasers in the state. He's going to go out and try to catch the gusty winds here. The NAM was showing this up towards 50 miles per hour here. Let's see if that actually comes to fruition, though. There's Vashon here. So this is not very far from my house now. I live right over in this area. Yeah, we're going to be transitioning this year from El Nino to La Nina. Yeah, we don't get the Cape values here to get a derecho here in the Pacific Northwest. You can get something that might mimic it because of strong winds and a little bit of instability, but the instability that builds over the Midwest in some of those summer derechos is just extreme. You get really big moisture values, and we just don't get that kind of moisture here west of the Cascades or even really west of the Rockies. So you're not going to get a derecho like they get, like the big nasty ones out across some of the plains. So you can get really potent derechos out there, and do not get the ingredients for that here. The front strengthened after it went past me. Okay. It was very windy, says Steve W. on Camino Island when it passed through. Nick Hansen just east of Vashon. Sounds like you're in Des Moines or Normandy Park or something. Yeah, I mean, La Nina maybe next year. Great for skiing. 543 people in the chat. Very nice. Yeah, for the Pacific Northwest this summer, I mean, I really have no idea. It's really, I haven't even looked at it too much yet. It's really difficult to say. It's tough to get a signal on what's going to happen here during the summertime in the Pacific Northwest. La Habra, California. I used to live in Whittier, right by La Habra down there in California. I mean, we're still below average across the mountains. Hopefully we can get back towards average in this round. I don't know if BC is going to. I don't think BC is going to get there quite yet, though, so we're going to need more. Okay, so Ben lives up there by Lake Stevens, so he's probably headed out towards Everett or so. It's pretty windy with the frontal system there. It's always fun to watch these pass by. Brad Ward gifted 5 Pacific Northwest memberships. Thank you for your generosity. Brad Ward is a new manager at Alaska Airlines. He's fulfilled his destiny at Alaska Airlines. So now I get to complain to him about stuff at work. What was that about Oregon? Did I miss something there? Oh, Oregon's doing better than Washington or British Columbia. Yeah, the Washington is not as good as Oregon, and BC is worse than both of them. Yeah, it's not as bad down in Oregon for sure. And this round is definitely going to help with that. And that's the thing too. When you guys ask questions on the daily videos, if you're a member, I'm trying to answer every single question that gets asked by the active members, because I get a lot of questions and I can't really answer all of them. So I'm trying to do it by priority. People who are supporting the channel, I have to answer those questions first. It's not anything personal or anything. It's just something that, if people are giving me their hard-earned money, I gotta try to answer those questions. Brad Ward in the house. 40 plus inches in Mount Baker last 36 hours. Any guidance on what best day for ground fog in the Central Valley? I would wait until after this storm. So probably at some point in the mid to later portion of next week, when things calm down in California, you'll probably get some fog. So watch the channel down there daily, and you'll see when things calm down, then you're going to have the chance, but not for the next few days. Jehovah's Witnesses are a high control group. I'm going to just assume that's a good thing. Dan's Backcountry, welcome to second tier channel support. Mike is a buddy. Who was mentioning that? There's a lot of chat coming through here, trying to catch up here. Let's see. I took college courses at a couple different colleges, and then I got a technical degree through a school in Montana, and then I did my aircraft dispatcher license. So I've got like a big mixture. I was training to be a National Weather Service meteorologist, and then I found out about aircraft dispatching, and then I just kind of dropped that. So I have a lot of schooling, but I don't officially have the degree or anything. So I was kind of just there, and once I found out about dispatching, I found out you get to talk to pilots and guide them through severe weather, and you get to do forecasting for multiple places every single day. So it's kind of something that was always a dream of mine, and that's kind of what I wanted. And Alaska Airlines, I always wanted to work for. I always wanted to work in Seattle, so kind of a no-brainer for me. Yeah, this is kind of I'd argue this is like a hybrid El Nino year because we've definitely had signs of El Nino at times, but the temperatures at times have definitely not reflected a normal El Nino year. The snowpack has and the temperatures have at times, but we did get some Arctic air in January, and now we're getting a pretty good round of storms. Also, it's not unusual to get some Arctic air trying to make passes during El Nino years. And we still haven't got snowfall officially at Seattle. So in some ways, it has been acting like an El Nino year, but in some ways, it has been a little bit different as well. And now we're starting to bounce back to snowpack a little bit here. So that's not really truly El Nino-ish also. So it's a little bit of a hybrid, I'd argue. Matthew Reinerson, thank you for the generosity. Number 1. Sarah Fitzpatrick, thank you for the generosity. How do it won't let me reply directly to this. I guess I just have to click the button down here below. Yes, that is a big sign of El Nino is crummy skiing. 100% correct. But you might get some decent skiing for a bit of a time. So skiers and snowboarders, get out here while you can, because El Nino starts to show its face again here. Then it's going to get ugly again. Central Oregon coast, got some wind coming your way. Don't hold it against me working for American. What did you do for American? Christopher Rankin. Waiting for the frontal passage in Graham like a kid on Christmas Eve. Will the section of fence I need to work on be standing? It's an unknown question. Yep. Yeah, I had a portion of my fence blow down a few years ago as well, and I had to go out there and redo it and everything. It's kind of a pain. And now it looks a little bit different from the rest of the fence, so it kind of bugs me. Yeah, Mount Baker's just getting a nice shot of snow. My goodness. And these snow levels are going to be crashing down here, especially when this front gets through. Where is this now? It's taking its time, but it's making its way across Bremerton. Somebody was in Olympia earlier. What's it doing in Olympia now? Oh, let's see what did that QLCS feature do? Hey, you can kind of see it still right there, it looks like. Yeah, it was definitely a little feature there. Little spin up. And then once it gets in the terrain, it's just dead meat. But still, if someone was really weather-wise and was paying attention out there, you might have been able to spot something. Dan's backcountry is in Tacoma. That's cool. You can get that frontal system. Whistler snowed out. Good to hear. Definitely needed up there, man. I saw some of the reports up there were below 20%. Hurricane Ridge at 36% normal prior to the snowfall. Starting to rain here in Humboldt. Oh, so Northern California. So it's already raining down there? Lincoln City, I'm right next to you. It's not 60 miles an hour. What's going on out there? Yeah, Astoria got hammered there. 65. Zachary Lark, thank you for the generosity. Says the number 5 there. Celebrate their 5th super on a live stream. How do I do that? It won't let me reply. Man, I gotta take a tutorial on how to work the YouTube chat here. Yeah, if you guys missed that too, it looks like there was a little bit of a QLCS feature. You can kind of see it right there. It went by Cannon Beach. So watch the Cannon Beach right here. A little feature there moved by. And then the problem is now is that once the frontal system's moving down the coast, you can't really see if there's anything else down by Tillamook. The beams are getting blocked. There's just, you're getting too far away from the Doppler radar there. You killed a cat once. We named her Lucky. Bad name. Don't kill it. Be nice to animals. That's a lesson of the day. Be nice to your animals. Yeah, it's going to come across Seattle here pretty quick. What kind of gust are we going to get out of this thing? Pouring in Olympia. 513. Oh, yeah, 98, 99 La Nina for Mount Baker was insane. Yeah, I didn't kill a cat. Somebody posted that they killed a cat once. I don't know. Maybe he's joking. I'm not sure. A little late to the party tonight. Always love the content. You're a daily watch, Professor. Cheers. Thank you for the generosity, Zachary Lark. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we can see the frontal system rolling through here. And again, so... Man, I was hoping for a little bit of lower elevation snowfall. We'll still probably see some cool stuff, though, with all the showers moving in. You can see this is the most recent European. There's the frontal system moving through. The cold air ushers in, and we're going to have showers tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and it looks like on Sunday here before that cold air finally gets out of the region. So that's going to be fun. In fact, let's do this. So this is tomorrow. There's a chance for a thunderstorm. It's not actually, no, that is for Saturday. Sorry, that's Saturday. So there is a chance. Sunday, we don't know yet. We're not there. Let's look on Friday. Maybe the coast, maybe the Panhandle, maybe some eastern Washington. Not a big sign for lightning though. Tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, eastern Oregon. That front moving through. Not too great. And again, you can kind of see the frontal system move across the area here, and it looks like it might pack a little bit of a punch. We'll see. I don't know. Is Olympia and Tacoma going to get 51? That's a pretty big gust, so I don't know. And Ben will be out there at Everett or Mukilteo or wherever he's going. I'm not sure exactly, but he's going to be trying to get some of that wind as well. Chris Bird, it's getting closer to Graham. The wind and rain just picked up. Love the channel, Michael. I'll tag up to see if we can do a chase. Yep, do me an email. We're always looking for other chase people. Oh, yeah. So Kelly Hamilton is in the house there. Yeah, you got the frontal system. See this right here? Actually, let's go to the Langley Doppler. So Puyallup is right here. There's Tacoma Federal Way. This is the frontal system right here. So it's got some winds with it. It actually kicked up a 65 mile per hour gust for Astoria, and it may kick up winds for Olympia and Tacoma. It's moving right across the Kitsap Peninsula as we speak right now. If I put it into motion, you'll be able to see it. There's the frontal system right there kicking up some winds. Probably the heaviest rain of the day for a lot of people too when that moves through. And if we look here, you can kind of see that. And the problem now is that this front is getting inland, so the Langley Doppler doesn't pick it up quite as well also. So we can do something like look at the Portland Doppler, and it's not picking it up there as well. Still got terrain blockage. So we go to the Camano Island Doppler, and you can kind of see the frontal system there. So it's got some good rain in it. And no doubt the Doppler radar's got some attenuation going on. So the beams bounce off the raindrops and whatever's in the atmosphere here. It can't pick up the frontal system the farther you get from the Doppler because it's bouncing off of raindrops in the way. So the further away you get from the Doppler radar, the worse the information feedback you're getting. Jim Hay, daily watch here as well. Wife and kids always make fun of me when I fire up YouTube after dinner. Thanks for the content. Very welcome. Thank you very much for the generosity. Tyler Vasquez, Olympia going to get hammered. It looks like it's raining there pretty good right now. Well, you should have got some good rains earlier, Quinault. Was it not windy out there? $500 people in here right now. Yeah, I've got about 6 minutes, and then I got to get off the computer here. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some areas that normally don't get snowfall in California that get snowfall. Some of the higher hills, maybe even around the Bay Area, I would not be surprised to see like some snow pellets or some small hail coat the roads out there, maybe some flakes for the higher hills. So it might get a little crazy. Kelly Hamilton, thanks for the generosity. Oh, fun. Thank you. I want snow. So yeah, you probably see that frontal system coming for you here. Looks like it's passing. It's on Olympia right now. It's almost to Tacoma. And I don't know if that's the front actually weakening itself or if that's some kind of attenuation from the Doppler. It's hard to say. Maybe the front is weakening a bit, but it's still going to pack a punch there as it moves across into the Seattle Metro. 5-minute warning. 24 hours of AOL. 24. I used to have AOL back in the day. Yes, I did. Great stuff tonight, as always, from Evan Elliott. We'll report back on the conditions at Crystal Mountain after the weekend. Go Ems. Yeah, it's going to be nice skiing up there. I mean, all the way through Monday, it looks like the temperature shouldn't be warming up much up there, so you're not going to get, it's not going to be super frozen or hard or anything. A lot of nice new snowfall up there. I liked Crystal Mountain. I used to snowboard up there all the time. The conditions were amazing. Get up towards 7,000 feet. Belinda Dune is in the house. Good night. My wife thinks you're cute. Thank you. Can you show the northern pole vortex, please? Okay, so yeah, I was actually looking at that earlier. Let me look at that again here. Let's go like this. Let's go to... So let's make that so we can actually see it. Can you guys even see this? That's the North Pole right there. I got to zoom in. That's way too far out there. Let's just do North America. So this is that frontal system we're dealing with now. Actually, let's scroll ahead to where we are. This is closer to where we are now. That's the frontal system passing as we speak. Look at that polar lobe, polar stratospheric polar vortex, if you want to call it here. There's actually a polar vortex that some scientists talk about in the troposphere, and then there's one up in the stratosphere here too. So there's kind of a different polar vortex that they mean. 1221 Bob. Thanks for the generosity. I love your stuff, Mike. What caused this rapid warm up today? Damn, rain got up pretty high at Snoqualmie. Yeah, that's if I back up here, you can see, actually, let me do this. I'm going to go to, I want to answer his, sorry about that. I want to answer his question really quick here. So you can see what was going on today. That strong frontal system, the very cold air was behind the front, but in front of the frontal system, we were bringing in all this warm air right into Vancouver Island, into BC. So we were really warming things up with that warm southwest and southerly flow. But as we go through tonight, there we are right about now. That frontal system crosses and the snow levels are just going to crash back down big time as we go through tomorrow morning. The frontal system just blasts down into California and the very cold air will be moving in there. So that's what was going on. That's why we warmed things up so much all the way up to Snoqualmie Pass. Okay, back to that. Let's look at that. So yeah, this is what's driving California storm as well. And you can see this is a pretty dynamic lobe here out over the Pacific Ocean, but we've got that south flow in front of it. So it's just not that favorable for low elevation snowfall into Western Washington or Western Oregon. The thing is if you bring a lobe like this out, right, you got to bring it right on top of Western Washington or right on top of Oregon there. So you can kind of get that north flow quickly off of BC and back into the area with the very cold air. But when you have it out over the ocean here, you have that southerly wind and you allow that warm air to creep up in here. The air aloft is going to be very cold though, but we're going to flirt with a little bit of lower elevation snowfall for some areas. And there might even be some brief accumulations, but for the most part, it's not going to be one of those widespread snowfall events. We're not going to spend time below freezing, or at least not much time. Catherine O'Sellin, thank you for the generosity. Oh, the dial-up on AOL was nasty, man. I remember it taking like 5 to 10 minutes just to like dial up and finally connect. And then your computer would like slowly load up your mailbox. Jet Scream. I'm going to have to steal that one. Jet Scream instead of Jet Stream. Yeah, so when the jet stream comes ripping fast, we can call that a jet scream. But look at it, just right into California, man. Goodness gracious. I was just thinking that'd be a good time to like do like The Shining 2, like rent a hotel there up in the Sierra Nevada and just have a family up there and do some filming and bring Jack Nicklaus in his old age and like redo the Shining movie up there and just have him stranded out there for like weeks in the Sierra Nevada because of all the snow. I think that original movie was supposed to be in the Rockies, wasn't it? Yeah, we were talking about that Tyler Vasquez. There was rotation on Kenna Beach a little bit ago. That was probably a little QLCS spin up. My neighbors complained they didn't know about snow this morning, but you showed it was predicted here. Yeah. Would I consider attending or participating in Science Night at Mount Vernon High? I've done that stuff before. It just depends on if I work or what exactly is going on. You'd have to email me. You can check out my email address on the YouTube channel there itself. Oh, Jack Nicholson. What did I say? Did I say Jack Nicholas? Did I say Jack Nicholas? I meant Jack Nicholson. Thank you for the generosity. Sydney Cuevas at 34L. All work and no play makes Michael. I haven't seen that movie in years. I think my mom had us watch it I think my mom accidentally let us watch it when we were little and it freaked us out. It was filmed in Oregon, really? Jack Nicholas. I really said Jack Nicholas. That's funny. But yeah, that's that jet stream coming for California there. And actually, it should be, what does it get up to there? Let's see. So it really is ripping right there. So it's probably about, 150 miles per hour? Close to it. Let's do this. Let's look at the GFS. The GFS has a little bit more product there. Yeah, you're looking at 200 miles per hour at 30,000 feet, straight out of Alaska, fast tracking right into California. That's amazing. The Shining 2, starring Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer. Tiger Woods can be the snowplow driver that comes in and tries to save everybody. Timberline Lodge. For some reason, I thought it was the Rockies. But yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure, so I'm believing you guys. Filmed in Colorado. The outside shot was timberline, apparently. Okay. Wind is picking up in Seattle. Oh, I've already exceeded my allotted time here. Okay, guys, I got to wrap it up here. But I might do another live stream again tomorrow, possibly. And if I go out and about, I'm at a live stream, so you guys can ride along with me as well. I might go out and search for some thunderstorms, or maybe try to get a funnel cloud out there, or maybe some mountain snow. So you guys can join me along for tomorrow. But yeah, I hope you guys had fun in the chat tonight. One more look at the Doppler here. There's the frontal system. Almost a Vashon as we speak. It's got some punch up there too. So it's probably right getting to the coastline where Ben Washington Weather Chasers is out there right now. I wonder where he is. Timberline Lodge. Yeah, Donner Party with the Shining. There you go. This would be a perfect storm to do it in too. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up the chat here. I hope you guys had a good time. We'll do my normal briefing tomorrow. We'll check everything out. We'll check out the snow levels and whatnot and see if we have any chance in lower elevations. Man, look at this heavy rainfall. Does not want to end here across the Kitsap Peninsula. But anyway, okay, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll talk